Woo woo! What a morning! I still have to run to the store and get some things, and it's the day before Thanksgiving, so I'm thinking about 1 million people are going to be there. Oops, I forgot to turn my volume down. So, I just need some cream cheese for the cheesecakes, because I love to make cheesecakes in the Instant Pot. You want the recipe? Let me know. I will send it to you, because it makes the creamiest, easiest. I mean, you can make it in the morning and have that night. I bought a book on how to make cheesecakes decades ago. And every time I bring a cheesecake, people are like, oh my gosh, this is so good, because it's so creamy and it's rich, and it's how do you do it? It's a process. You have to do a steam bath, and the oven has to be set up right, and then there's a specific way to do it, and then it's just amazing all the work you have to go through. Then I found this recipe for the Instant Pot. I'm like, and it makes a smaller one because it's for the Instant Pot, but you can make one a week. It's no big deal. You just take everything, whip it together, and throw it in, and then 26 minutes later you have a cheesecake, and then you put it in the fridge, and that's it. So anyway, ask me how. So it's pretty simple. Good morning, Beth. Hey, Amber. And let me see who we've got over here. No comments on YouTube. Come on, y'all. I'm also going to be trying out a different service. I'm going to do an experiment over the weekend. It's a company I purchased from 6 months ago that said they were going to do RTMP and, the ability to stream in multiple different places, only they're going to include LinkedIn and Instagram and Periscope. Gosh, I didn't even know Periscope was still around. But anyway, so I'm going to be experimenting with that over the weekend, like I don't have anything else to do. Of course, we've got the Black Friday sale going on right now. If you were a VIP and you got in early, then some of the stuff is already sold out. And the sale really doesn't start until Friday. So, but the VIPs got in early. So if you want that link, actually I don't have it handy. I should just have this. Wait a minute. Let me look and see if I do have it handy. Oh, I do. Here, let me go ahead and put this in the comments. Here's the Black Friday sale. Friday sale. There you go. So that should go out to everybody. Let's make sure. Hey, Heather. There it is. Okay, so it went out to there, and then it did go to Facebook as well. Good. So yeah, and I found this scarf. I haven't seen this scarf in forever, so I was very happy that I found this scarf. I usually wear it with something else, and then, I have my favorite earrings. I love these earrings. I wear these all the time. All the time. And then they got a little bit, how it's like cheap metal. This obviously isn't gold, right? So it got cheap. So I just got some gold spray paint and respray painted them, and I just love them. So anyway, so I found these, and I haven't seen these in a long time. So they got to be worn today. Anywho, all right, so today we're going to talk about conflict, and I'm hoping to very soon have a gentleman by the name of Chris Voss on the up-and-coming podcast. Somebody's calling me. Let me get rid of show starts. Get rid of that. Anyway, I'm going to have him on the up-and-coming podcast. Already have some what do you call those, costume designers from Hollywood movies and like Downton Abbey, and I shouldn't say they're lined up, but I have Chris Voss, who's a conflict negotiator used to be a conflict negotiator for the FBI, and now he runs a company called Black Swan Group. And I've watched his course, I've read his book, and it's amazing of how the different methods. So we're not going to really talk about that much today, but I'm going to reveal some of the secrets and some of the tips that he has for those. But just in general, I wanted to talk about how to keep your cool during a conflict and walk away happy, because that's important. All right, let me grab a couple of things, get my notes all set, and we'll get started. If you have ever had a conflict with somebody and it didn't turn out well, this show is for you. We're going to talk about 5 tips to handle the conflict and have both people walk away happy on this morning's Coffee with Colleen. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Colleen. If this is your first time watching, my name is Colleen Hammond. I'm a former on-camera meteorologist for the Weather Channel, turned image consultant, coach, and mentor. I just found that women didn't realize how great they would look and feel once they nailed down their style. So in 30 days or less, I teach women how to figure out what to wear so that everything in your closet makes you look and feel fascinating. But today we're going to talk about conflict. And we're recording this the day before Thanksgiving, so I thought this was kind of appropriate. We're going to talk about 5 tips to handle conflict, which you can use either around the dinner table or any work situation, depending on where you are located. It's pretty simple to... The first thing is to avoid conflict. So if you know certain topics are going to trigger an emotional conversation, then just stay away from those topics and enjoy each other's presence. Now, that's you, but the other person doesn't necessarily agree with avoiding conflict. Some people actually enjoy conflict. And if there's not drama, they will create drama. Do you know these people? Please do not say that you are this person. But there are people who really, they're not happy unless there's drama around them. And if there isn't drama, they'll create it. And that makes it more difficult in your life if you have someone like that in your life. So I think the number one thing to realize is you focus on maintaining your control and your composure. And excuse me, number one, know when to walk away. And leaving can sometimes be an art, right? The last thing for your relationship is you don't want somebody to think you're not listening to them. So oftentimes, if you're in a conflict with somebody and you know it's, oh gosh, every time we talk about this, this person does this, this, and this. Okay, that's your first clue. You know that every time you're with this person, number one, they're going to cause conflict. And number two, you already know the pattern. So that's with somebody that you're familiar with. If it's somebody you're not familiar with, sometimes the best thing to do is just to listen. And one of the things that I learned from Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference is his book. I'll put a link to that later in the show notes. Is to repeat back to them a couple of words from the sentence that they just said. Usually the last couple of words of that sentence, and you can just repeat. So if they're like, yeah, well, that person, in every election cycle, we always know that the certain party is going to do this. And, the certain party does this. Just ask a question. Repeat the last couple of words. That means to them, you're listening to them. But you're not engaged in any conflict. You're not asking them questions. You're not countering anything they say because you know that whatever you say isn't going to work. So just repeat back to them a couple of things and then know when to take a break. So just sometimes, don't make a dramatic exit, but sometimes you can just slip away quietly. If it's a large group, or if you have your phone with you, you're like, oh, excuse me, my so-and-so, I have to take this call, or I have to reply to this text. I hate to be rude, but I really do need to deal with this right away, and step away. So number one, know when to walk away. Number two, maintain your composure and stay calm. Keeping yourself clear-headed and rational is important. Now, if you know that you're going to go to a family gathering and alcohol will be involved, sometimes this will be the night that it's best to avoid alcohol so that you can maintain a clear head and maintain your composure and stay calm. And if you can't, now would be the time to take a text, take a phone call, go powder your nose, excuse yourself to go to the bathroom, to take a few deep breaths and calm down. Staying calm and maintaining your inner peace is going to be the most important thing. Breathe deeply. Practice mindfulness. You may need a couple of minutes to just do a quick meditation until you're in a better place and you can control yourself, just to find your inner peace. So number two, maintain your composure and staying calm. Number three, be busy. If you're busy helping in the kitchen, or busy helping wash dishes, or busy taking care of nieces and nephews, you're not going to be pulled into some of these conversations. So avoidance is basically what I'm saying. If you know it's going to be a conflict with that particular person, then just avoid that particular person by maintaining a level of busyness, and keep yourself busy on the opposite side of the room, if at all possible. And then you can be a little bit more productive and spend time with the people that you would rather spend time with. Number 4, try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. So practice empathy. I know. This is the person that irritates you the most, and you can't. One of the reasons that you probably have conflict with this person is you don't understand them. You can't put yourself into their shoes. God loves them. Somebody loves them. Probably somebody married this person, right? So maybe try to find one quality about the person that you can either empathize with, or you can see is a good quality that they have. Well, they're passionate. Number 1, you know that, right? Because they're passionate about their topic. That's why they're arguing with you. But and sometimes, if you're looking at the other person and you're finding some good qualities in them, don't forget to look for your own good qualities as well. But if you start thinking that, wait a minute, maybe I have something to contribute to this disagreement, that's a nice self-reflection too, that, you know, we all contribute somehow to a negative conflict situation. We may have said something in the past. You know, we may have said it on purpose. We may not have said it on purpose. Sometimes we say things totally innocently, and it can be taken out of context, and it can be twisted to be something that you never intended it to mean. This happened to me. It's funny. I was thinking about this morning. This happened to me, it was about 1.5 years ago. I said something to 2 people, and it offended this other person so greatly. And I said, I am so sorry that you were offended by that, but what you thought I meant, I never considered that. I never thought. I am so sorry. Trust me, I am not, what she had blown it way out of proportion. And I really didn't know this person. We had a mutual friend, and she totally blew it way out of proportion. So much so that when I apologized, she actually said to me, I refuse to accept your apology. I don't care if you mean it or not. You are not somebody I ever want to associate with, and I never want to see you, speak to you, or hear from you again. Unfortunately, she made such a big deal out of it that the circle of what I thought were friends that I was associated with at the time, they all cut me off. So not only was I misunderstood, she totally took it out of context, blew it out of proportion, refused to accept my apology, and went to all the other women in this group and said that she didn't want me involved in the group anymore. And so I found out who from that group were really my friends. 3 of them out of the 9 I'm still in touch with. The other 6 totally cut me off as well. So it was a good thing. Ultimately, I found out who my real friends were. But so when you try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, which I tried to do in this particular situation, I tried to see where she was coming from, and I did see where she was coming from. She was wrong, but I did see where she was coming from. It didn't matter. So even though sometimes you take all the steps necessary to resolve a situation with someone, you can only say, I did my best. I tried. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I did my best. I regret the way it all fell out, but look for the positive in the situation. So in my situation, I found out who my 3 real friends were. And I'm still friends with them to this day. And 2 from the other group have actually reached out since and apologized and said, this person, now that we know them better, we realize what happened, and, I regret listening to her. So all in all, you can always look at a situation and see the bright side and the silver lining to it. So practice empathy. Number 5 is kind of, I rolled the 2 in together. Try to apologize. Try to reconcile. It does take 2 people to get into an argument. And if one person wants to reconcile and the other person doesn't, there's not much you can do, but try to be the bigger person. Try to be the adult in the group and own up to your side of it. Say, I realize that there's a conflict between the two of us, and I do have things that I have said and done that I can see that have contributed to the conflict. And I apologize. I am sorry for my part in what's going on. And I would really like to heal this relationship or move forward. And of course, being calm, cool, and collected is going to be your number one. So, but sometimes having that conflict, it's inevitable. But how you deal with the conflict says a lot about you. And being able to look yourself in the mirror and, say, I handled that well. It didn't end well. What could I have done differently? Maybe nothing. I don't think that's true in any situation. I think if we look back on any situation, we can see that we didn't handle it perfectly. And what can you learn from it? What can you take into the next conflict with a different person or that same person that you can handle it differently? But being able to maintain your cool and calm in a very emotional situation is a life skill. And it's something that we want to grow in, and we want to teach those around us, especially any younger children that we have in our care, to help them maintain their composure and grow an emotional intelligence that will help them in their life moving forward. So again, those 5 are: know when to walk away, stay calm, and if you can't be calm, leave to maintain your composure. Stay busy so that you can avoid any situations, but keeping yourself busy. Be empathetic, put yourself in their shoes and see it from their point of view, or see qualities about them that are positive if you're having a hard time with that. And number 5, always try to reconcile. Life is too short to go through conflicts. We're all different. And when we love and accept each other for our differences, sometimes we're oil and water. Sometimes we're not meant to always get along, and that's okay. Just knowing that reconciliation should always be on the table and should always be an option. All right, that's it for today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. If you're not following me, if you're on YouTube, right over here, you can hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell, because it'll notify you of upcoming, or not upcoming, but any videos that are currently posted. All right, take care. God bless. And I am grateful to have you in my life, and I hope you feel the same too. Bye. Alrighty. So let me go catch up on comments. Good morning, Sarah. Only happy when it rains. Oh, yes, there are those people, Amber. Oh, my gosh. Remaining calm is the key. So is, Kathy. Amy says, I slip away or just keep my mouth shut. I'm the opposite side of most of my family in politics and religion. Yeah, we have half, of my 4 children, 2 are on one side and 2 are on the other. So, the weekly dinners and, gatherings and conversations are always, and this is when you look at your children and go, man, I raised some smart kids, because they're talking way above my pay grade on a lot of political situations, so they really follow things, so I'm proud of them for that. But it's hard when you so totally disagree with 2 of your children, how did you come from my womb, and be raised in my care, and so disagree with everything I taught you, but they're adults and they're allowed to make their own decisions. So what a blessing to know where you stand with the group. I know, Heather, it was, I cried. I'll be honest. I cried. It hurt. It really, really hurt, because I thought that I was very, very close to these people. And I knew that this person was that we had this mutual friend, and I felt sorry for a mutual friend, because she was stuck in the middle. And she's actually one of the people that still kept in touch with me, ironically. It was crushing. It really was crushing. But, when people show their true colors, when people tell you who they are and show their true colors, you need to believe them. So even people that have come back into my life, I'm still a little reticent. I'm like, you know, you told me before who you were, and now you're being honest and coming to me, and I appreciate that. But that also tells me that, I hate to say it, you don't make your own decisions. You know, you allow other people's opinions to sway yours. Or maybe there was something about me they didn't like initially, and this is just what pushed them over the edge. But they did come back, so I don't know. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's, you know, it's who they are. And I have moved on, and I have other close friends, and I'm the type of person where, hey, Manette and Kay Jackson. Yeah, you want always, you know what, that's just the thing too, is you always do want to be a peacemaker. At least I do. Blessed are the peacemakers, right? You want to, I would rather people get along than not get along. I mean, everybody in life, in the world, you know, world peace, you know, life's too short, especially pushing 60. I was thinking about that the other day, and you look back on decisions made or comments made, or because I'm a fiery Irish-tempered redhead type, you know, Katie O'Hare. No, Scarlett O'Hara. Who's Katie? Who's Katie in The Quiet Man? What was that character's name? Maureen O'Hara played. Can't remember. I want to say Katie Scarlett, but that's not who it is. Anyway, so yeah, I'm looked back, and I regret. You know, I'm going to prove my point, and I'm not going to let this person walk all over me. Well, there's other ways to maintain your boundaries. Oh, I should have Leslie on discussing boundaries. A friend of mine is a psychiatrist who works a lot with women, and she's actually a sex therapist, so she's certified in relationships and that type of thing. So it's very interesting. But she has this whole series that she does on the 3 different kinds of boundaries, and slippery boundaries, sticky boundaries, and solid boundaries, something like that. I forget what they are, but I really need to have her on talking about boundaries, because boundaries are so important, and people don't know how to set boundaries. So it's really, really interesting. So I need to have it on. Katie Scarlett O'Hara. Yeah, was that her name in, Kathy, was that the gal's name in The Quiet Man? There was Maureen O'Hara and John Wayne. So don't be playing Patty Fendricks in the holy water. Gosh. So yeah, Leslie she's amazing. And it would be wonderful to have her on. I mean, she's been on Inside Edition and all sorts of things, talking about boundaries. And she does like working with women specifically. So it's been really interesting. And her husband also is a counselor, and so they work together, and I think he deals more with men and she does with women. And then they have a whole thing on marriage and relationships and communication and the whole shot. So I'd love to have her on. I'm just going to send out and reach out to her today, the day before Thanksgiving. Hey, Les. Wrote the original one. I missed a lot being at work. I know, Manette. Yeah, I have a very difficult sister-in-law, married to my only brother, so the family get-togethers are super hard. Yeah, I know. So, but and see, this is where I try to dig into, why are they difficult? Why do they feel the need? Does she feel like when she came into the family, something happened, and so now she feels this resentment, and she feels like there's going to be conflict, so she creates it? Or maybe she's just a difficult person. I mean, your brother loves her, so she does have some redeeming qualities, right? So we need to find what those redeeming qualities are, look for things that we can, or maybe even start the whole Thanksgiving off with, I don't know when the last time it was you saw her, but sometimes you really have to create a relationship, a positive relationship where there hasn't been one, if you know what I mean. So you can go, I've done this before with people and said, there's this one gal that for no particular reason, it was just like oil and water. And every time we were together, we just didn't get along. And we both felt the same way. And I said to her once, I said, I must use her name. I don't know what it is that I did. I'm so sorry. I don't know why there's this tension between us. And I would really like to resolve it. So we tried to be friends. We drove together to, different events and that kind of stuff. And it just wasn't there. And I found out later that she was in a very abusive relationship, marriage. I mean, very physically and emotionally abusive marriage, which explained, when looking back on it, it explained a lot of her actions. So she was uncomfortable around me because I was so strong. And I was uncomfortable around her, I think, because subconsciously I picked up that there was something wrong in that relationship. So anyway, I just went to her, and I've done this with other people as well, where you just go and say, I know we haven't gotten along, and I'm sorry for whatever that is. And, you or this to this person, or like in your situation, I'm reading your comment as I'm trying to do. Oh, show no respect for boundaries. Horrible childhood. Yeah, show her love. She's been 25 years. Yeah, that's hard. Boundaries are important. Toxic relationships, especially inside a family, need space. Yeah, they really, especially in a family, because it's always there. Always, always, always. You don't. That's so true, Heather. You don't know what's going on in people's lives. You really don't. And I think that's an important thing to keep in mind as well. Amber says, my husband knows who I have issues with right now and told me he doesn't think either of us are ready to reconcile or figure it out. And he used the word maturity. We don't have the maturity on the other side. So, yeah, I know, Manette, it's toxic. No getting around it for sure. Yeah, 25 years. I know. I have family members that I've had to cut off. And it goes back to the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So we think that's family. And we do have, there are obligations there with family and in-laws. But there's also the fact that, and we only see them once a year. I had another, I did this one last year, but it was all on toxic people. Oh, that's on sale too. That Toxic People course is normally $127. It's $100 off right now. So it's only $27. So it's perfect time to get in on that one. So I love that saying too, Manette. It's so cool. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. And people think blood is thicker than water. No, that's not what it means. Blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. It's the exact opposite of what you think blood is thicker than water means. So the blood of the covenant, when you're shoulder to shoulder in the trenches with somebody, shedding blood, quote unquote, together, it's thicker than your relationship with somebody that you came out of the same womb of. So, yeah, finish up that Toxic People. Go back and re-listen to it. That's going to be redone as well as part of next year's revamp of Emotional Intelligence and the 4 Temperaments, which are also both on sale right now for the Black Friday sale. But and Kathy got the 4 Temperaments. I know that one. So, yeah, that's all. Once we launch the Style Academy, of course, the Style Academy is not included in the Black Friday sale because we're going to be coming out with that in a couple of weeks. Blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Yeah, Sarah, isn't that powerful? Once you are like, some of these old sayings don't mean what we think they mean. So it's that freedom, the freedom of knowing that, our personal relationships and our family relationships are important. And we do put those, but you know what? There's other relationships in our life that sometimes take priority. Get the 4 Temperaments. It's on sale. It's on sale right now for cheap. I don't know. Yeah, go through Heather, you really should. That 4 Temperaments course really should be gone through with the whole family. Everybody needs to do that. And when it's revamped next year, it'll be simpler and more defined, and the videos will be a lot shorter. It's like I got a lot of requests to put my life on autopilot. That course back, it was my first course I did, and it was just like a 2-hour long course. Now I know that people want bite-sized 8-minute videos. I want small little chunks, and they look and say, I'm not going to sit down and watch 2 hours. So that course as well is going to be revamped. So just super, super, super excited about where everything is going this upcoming year. Now that, God rest my mom's soul, she passed away earlier this year. We're still resolving her estate, so that legal thing will drag on for probably another 6 months. Then, I've got 4 children that are now grown and out of the house. My health is good, praise God, and I need to keep it good. And I have the antibody for COVID. So I'm a, plasma donor for COVID because I have the antibody. So it's to the point in my life now where I worked so many years, family first. My children were always first. And then I did speaking engagements, and I did conferences and things on the side. And then I started doing Coffee with Colleen and, building my business, knowing at some point my health would be better. I would not be dealing, my father was dying. So I dealt with that whole situation. Then I moved to Michigan for a couple of years to take care of my mom. And then, so all these things happened over the past 10 years or so. And now I'm at the point now where things can really go. And my business, I've got a new business manager. He is amazing, and a hard worker. He knows business very, very well. So he knows when to hold them, when to fold them. It's really good talking to him because he respects my position as the head of the company and the decades of experience that I bring to the table, and I respect his decades of experience that he brings to the table too, because it's a different, his experience is different but complementary. So he'll explain his point of view, I'll explain mine, and then I'll be able to draw a conclusion from there, which is nice to have. Yeah. Reading the book about temperaments, says Manette, so interested right now. Yeah, the autopilot is really good. Amber says, whenever I'm around the individual, I can feel the strain. Yeah, I don't like who I am when I'm around them. Oh, that's so true. That's powerful. That's really, really powerful. Because that's a sad situation when you can, it's a good situation when you can look at it and go, I don't like who I am when I'm around this person. It's good to identify that. It's very humble too. So that's really powerful. But then you dig down and say, okay, what about this person pushes me over the edge? Why do they push my buttons? What is it that makes me uncomfortable? That kind of stuff. So, yeah, our attention is shortening. I know. There's this thing that said the attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds, and the current attention span of a teenager is 8 seconds. So we get more chance with a goldfish than we do with our own children. Okay, yeah, good. That's good, Amber. All right, so I have to get to the store because it's 8:30 here, which means the grocery store is going to be packed already because it's the day before Thanksgiving, and I just need cream cheese. It's the thing, like, I'm going into battle, so I just need 2 blocks of cream cheese. I'm short 2 blocks of cream cheese and maybe some sour cream and probably some graham crackers. No, I'm going to do a ginger snap crust. So, too deep. Don't want to dig that deep. But I will. I know. That's hilarious. Okay. Anyway, make sure that you head over to the Black Friday sale. That's going to be done Sunday night, and some things are already sold out. So I actually have to go in there and change. After I get back from the grocery store, I have to go change some of those buttons. I actually called Dollar General, which is my dollar store, and they don't have it. I'd actually be willing to spend the extra $5 if they had it, but they don't. No, I always wear my mask. I'm not concerned. I've got the antibody, but people are actually getting secondary infections. So they're getting the infection again with the virus. But no, I always wear my mask. I saw on a show, I forget what I was watching, but somebody said it's kind of like seatbelts. And if you're old enough to remember, before seatbelts were law, we used to drive around with no seatbelts on. And then suddenly it became a law to wear your seatbelt. It was so irritating. Now I don't even think about it. I kind of look at masks the same way. I don't mind wearing a mask. I really, I understand all the other things. I understand. My sister refuses to wear one. She won't wear it. That's fine. I've read studies on both sides. That's fine. And I'm a hot-tempered, very opinionated person. And on this particular issue, I just wear a mask. I understand all the arguments on both sides. And I also know that people get, some people are really worried, like if you don't have a mask on, they look at you like horror. I see it's the opposite now. It used to be when I first started wearing a mask, I put one on right away, right? And I'd be one of 3 or 4 people in the store that had a mask on, and everybody would be looking at me like, oh gosh, she's a mask wearer. Was she wearing a mask? Was she paranoid? Blah, 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 whatever. I'm like, no, I don't want to make you sick. That's what the mask is for, to not make you sick, you know? So now it's just the opposite. Now you're at the store and almost everybody has a mask on and 1 or 2 people don't. And people are looking at them a little askance, right? Like, why don't you have a mask on? You look young and healthy. You don't look like you have COPD. You know, you don't have a breathing disorder. There's nothing wrong with your lungs. Why don't you have a mask on? And I just... for the comfort of other people, and to me, it's no big deal. I don't know. People are going to be really mad. I'm getting a lot of emails and text messages now. How dare you? From both sides. Like, whatever. So, anyway. Alrighty. Forgot the whipped cream. I do have some whipped cream. If you were here, I could give you some whipped cream to avoid going to the store. Anyway. Let me see. I went from doing almost nothing tomorrow to doing it all, so I'm not sure what we'll be eating. That's funny. Your mask reminds you to wash your hands. I think that's one thing that you know, people have. We were talking about this the other night at dinner. It's people are more cognizant of personal hygiene now, so that's a good thing. So. I have some cream cheese. I'm on my way, Manette. I would rather come and get it from you than go to the store. You see, about a 7-hour drive. Maybe 8. Nebraska? Kansas, Nebraska. Yeah, I think I'm probably closer to 8 because I'm right on the border. Anyway, I am going to get bebopping along. Get my stuff done. Everyone needs to make their own choices. I know. And I'm okay with whatever choice anybody wants to make, Amy. I'm good with it. You know, like whatever. So, all I want for people is for people to be happy and build your immune system. I think that's the most important thing, especially as we head into cold and flu season. I don't want anybody to be sick ever. Make your liposomal vitamin C, take your vitamin D, you know, and get out there and go for a walk in some fresh air. That's what I want for everybody. Happiness. That's why I don't want the holidays to be full of conflict for anyone. So, yeah, it might be. Well, I do drive fast. It takes me 7 hours to get to Kansas City. So, yeah, I'm 6.5 normally to get from here to Kansas City. But, yeah, Nebraska a little bit further. You're in Nebraska, right? Am I thinking correctly? So, anyway, I wish you all a very blessed holiday and a time together with family, and just focus on the positive, I think, is the most important thing. Focus on the positive and the relationships with the people that you love. And for the people who bring conflict, God bless you. And, you know, just smile and stay away from them. Don't let them steal your peace. Good, I'm Nebraska, that's what I thought. Don't let them steal your peace. You know, don't give them that control over you. So maintain your calm, maintain your peace, and maintain your control over your own personal integrity. And don't give them that control. Don't give away your peace and don't give away your control of your emotions and your life to that person. They don't deserve that from you. You deserve to maintain your own peace. So anyway, that's our thoughts today. I'm going to head out. Oh, thank you, Manette. That's so sweet. Thank you for everything. You're very welcome. Bright spot in my days. You're a bright spot in my day, too. Can't wait for our next month, our call for the cappuccinos for cocktails with Colleen. So, all right, I'm going to head out. Where's my stop button? There it is. All right. Take care. God bless. And we will see you next week. Bye.